Okay, in this chart here, I'm going to share with you how the energies of the zodiac, when you start with the energies of the zodiac in the first, you start using a possible 4 octaves, which also can become harmonics. And the energies, by looking at the arrow directions, you can see that this energy here for the first harmonic, how it travels down this line. So this is basically telling me, this is basically self-discovery from looking at the transition of the signs. So how do you know that you're using all the signs and transiting through an energy path? Well, I mean, if you look here, this is starting out with Mars, Venus, Moon, and Jupiter, and you know that Saturn is the result of the Moon mixing with Jupiter. It becomes Saturn. The result of Venus with mixing with the Moon becomes Mercury. Mars mixing with Venus becomes the Sun. It turns back into Mars here, and I just want to point out, if you look at these dots, they're going to coincide. See this singular dot here? It's Mars over here. So what you see here is, in the first, you see 4 octaves. Now this is 4 octaves that become 3, 1, 2, 3, and then become 1, then become 3 again, 1, 2, 3. And where does this process happen? So understand, the process of going through the entire zodiac, you don't end at 12. And understand, at 12, here, you still got 3. So what's going on here in this? What behavior are we looking at in this? This is like a DNA wrap. It's basically like, DNA sequencing could be compared to it. Ultimately, the way that the energies wrap when a coupling takes place. So what happens is, in the first event, you have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 4 energies starting in the first, and you have 4 octaves. So you have 4 octaves, then 3 octaves, then 1 octave, 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 then 3 octaves, then 4 octaves, then 4 octaves. So what you're going to see is, I wrote them down here, and you're going to see that, let's look at the singularities. Mars is a singularity. That's the first singularity. And where does the singularity occur? It occurs in the third. See, if I run, here's the Mars. That's the Mars right there that I circled, is right there. So the Sun, Mercury, and Saturn are these 3 dots. And of course, these 4 are those 4 dots. So you can see now, if you look at the arrow direction, you see that Mars energy, this first Mars energy, travels in this path. It goes down into the center and crosses over to the other side of the field. It goes back down this way and back through the center, crosses down through the other side of the field again, goes back to the center. So this is the path of Mars energy. Now see how that is? Now look, here the energy in the 13th is Saturn. So let's look at the singularities. We're going to look at Saturn is a singularity. Look at the Moon. The Moon is not a singularity until the 11th position. See, there's the Moon. See the Moon? It's a singularity. See how this is just a repetition. All these different energies. If you look at all these different energies, let's look at all the singularities. We're going to find singularity. Mercury is a singularity. Now Mercury is a singularity. There it is right there. You see Venus being a singularity? Venus is a singularity. But what's important to know about this stuff, there's the Sun as a singularity. I'm circling all the singularities here. And I'm going to point that the singularity of the Sun is here. Venus is here. That's Venus, that dot. This dot is Mercury. This dot is the Moon. And it goes down. So then you've got Saturn in the 13th position. Saturn does not occur as a singularity until position 13. And then after position 13, you have no more singularity. At position 14, you have a triple, and then you have 2 quadruples again. So you literally have the last singularity in the 13th position. That's why the zodiac has 13 months, or they usually just, what I'm saying is if you look at the way the energies work, you're going to say literally, technically, the zodiac has 16 signs. And I'm showing you an energy format here of what is a coupling. If you look at the energy of Jupiter, this is Jupiter. Look at the path of Jupiter. It comes here, crosses the field, goes, so it's just Jupiter's doing the opposite thing that Mars is doing. See, Mars coming through here is crossing the field exactly the way Jupiter's doing it. So the ones on the end are doing the same things on opposite spectrums. And look at the ones in the middle. Venus here is coming down to the center and then coming down. Now understand, Venus goes straight down. So what's the path of Venus? Straight down the spectrum, straight on the spinal cord. What is it? Now look at the moon. The moon here comes down to the center here and goes straight down, which means that that Venus and this, and looking at the energies here, Venus and the moon combined become, let's look over here, they become Mercury. See, Mercury, these three are these three. And basically, so what's the path of the 2 centers? The 2nd octave and the 3rd octave go to the center and go straight down. They don't wrap and change fields, which means, this is very important to know, because what this means is the ones on the end are actually always crossing the fields back and forth on extremities. Jupiter and Mars will cross the eastern and western poles of north and south in the extremities, and the Venus and the moon will only find the center and go straight down. So the behavior of Venus and the moon is to combine to find a center and just keep the center and go straight down, and it'll go straight down to position 13, which is Saturn. That's Saturn. And now there's no more. See, Venus it can travel to 14th position, and so Venus and the moon cannot go past 14th position. Understand, they'll be now diverted here. So what happens to Venus and the moon when they go down? Well, they ultimately start already diverted up here, and they find the center. They come straight down to here, and then they divert again and split up. So Venus and the moon energy will split up in the 14th position. And by the 15th position, Venus will be Venus again, and the moon will be the moon. So what does this tell you? Well, you could look at this chart, and there's so many things to learn from it. But you could look at this chart and see that in the first position of 16 possible positions, well, certainly there's not 12 possible positions, because when you go to the 12 here, you still have Saturn's not even created yet. So understand that you could, this is just saying, if you want to get technical astrology, this is a proof, an exact representation of the mathematical description. Now, we're also going to do mathematical description in the next video, and I'll show you what I'm talking about.